Alright guys, looking at today's lesson, we're looking at conditional statements. This is honestly a pretty easy lesson, so you should be able to fly through this one today. But we do have actually a lot to discuss with today's objectives. So this is basically kind of the order in which we're going to be doing things. We're going to be learning about conditional statements, understand what they are, identify the hypothesis and conclusion, truth value, as well as counterexamples. I'm going to be asking you guys to think a lot today, and I'm asking for your input today. So I'm basically going to ask you guys to become engaged in this lesson, and definitely be providing feedback as we move through the lesson. So what is a conditional statement? What are conditions? Or make a statement to have conditions. What are we really talking about there?
Like in certain circumstances, this statement or rule applies.
In certain circumstances, a statement or rule would apply. I guess we could somewhat go with that. Have your parents ever given you a directive with conditions attached?
Yeah.
Alright, give me an example.
Like you have to clean your room before you go. Would that be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before you can leave, you have to clean your room, right? So yes, you can go to that party, but not until you clean the room. Alright, that's a condition. It's basically a parameter. A lot of times in math, and especially in geometry, we deal with if-then statements a lot, with conditional statements. And so a lot of times when we think about that, your conditional statement really is an if-then statement. That's kind of what I want you guys to make that connection. So conditional statements are if-then statements. If you clean your room, then you can go to the party. That's an if-then. And a lot of times with if-then statements, we can draw or make conjectures. Right? This is a word you guys have seen before in your homework. So what is a conjecture? What does that mean? If I'm asking you to make a conjecture, what am I telling you to do? Silence.
Give an answer.
What do you mean an answer?
I don't know, like a conclusion or something.
Okay, closer. Bailey? Make a link between them. And that link is going to be in the form of a conclusion, right? It's drawing conclusions. If you're in science class, they're always asking you to draw conclusions based on your observations. In math, they call that a conjecture. So a conjecture and conclusions are kind of the same thing. So, understanding that conditional statements are in the form of if, then. So look at example 1. There's our statement. And we're going to turn that into a conditional statement. A rectangle has 4 sides. How could I write that as a conditional statement? Cheyenne?
So what's a conjecture?
Well, okay, so a conjecture, again, it's just like a conclusion that you're reaching based on your observations, based on information that's given. Okay, so it's like an educated, not so much a guess, but an educated conclusion. Conclusion based on reason. Alright, so back to example 1. A rectangle has 4 sides. How would I write that as a conditional statement? Raylan?
If the shape is a rectangle that has 4 sides.
There we go. So if a shape is a rectangle that has 4 sides. If a shape is a rectangle, then it has 4 sides. Alright. That actually wasn't too bad for writing our First if then statement. That's fairly easy. Then look at example 2. A tiger is an animal.
Tiger is an animal.
Just in case you guys didn't know that, I'll learn something here. So a tiger is an animal. So Alexis, how would you write that as an if then statement? If it is a tiger. If it is a tiger. Is an animal. Do we agree with that?
Yeah.
Does that fit? Alright, so writing if then statements, big deal, difficult?